Hi everybody, it's Mike Newman. It's Sunday night with ILXCTF. We're going to see how far I can go. My voice is just shredded, and we got 2 more weeks of the season left. Oh my gosh. I hope everybody had a great weekend. The weather was beautiful in the morning. Got really warm in the afternoon, so some of those meets that ran in the afternoon. I feel sorry. And I stayed around for the 2A races, and I was feeling it. I mean, we're used to like 40-degree weather earlier in the week. You guys are running in 40-degree temperatures, workouts, and then you get to Saturday, and it's 75, 76, 77 degrees in the afternoon. So it got warm. I had to turn on my air conditioning. I had fun. It's always a challenge to try to hit 2 meets and get there for the start of each races. So getting there for Lyons Township was easy. You get there in enough time to set up and talk to people and do everything like that. The key was finishing up on the boys race at Lyons Township, and then getting over to Catherine Leahy Memorial in time to watch the start of the girls race. And that's always a problem, but it's only a 3-mile drive from there, and it took 5.5 minutes. I think we hit one light. Kevin Dorsey, great photographer, was following behind me, and he's like, I'm going to follow you. We got in, parked quickly, and we got to the course in time. I was exhausted. My legs were like, so recording 6 races in 4 hours. That was fun. But it was it's regionals weekends. You got to do crazy things like that. I don't know if I'm going to do anything crazy next weekend. So we're going to touch on a bunch of things tonight. We'll look at all 3 regionals. Maybe I'm doing this off the top of my head, but I've been writing all day, so I should know this by now. We can go over the 3A, 2A, 1A regionals, talk about the sectionals that they feed into, and all of that fun stuff. Everything is up. All the highlights from every regional that was run on Friday and Saturday is up on, it's not up on ILXCTF.com, but I tweeted it out. I'll get it up on the site later tonight. Maybe I'll eat something today too. Jeez. So there was no drama on teams getting out in 1A. I mean, because you have 7 teams qualifying out of regionals, you should be able to. I mean, there shouldn't be any problems in Class 1A. 2A, there was one. In the boys' race at Highland, at Albahara Park, number 30 Mascuda boys team finished 7th, didn't make it out. There were a number of close calls in those 2 regionals where some of the teams missed by 5-6 points of advancing to sectionals. I'm tired. So in 3A, number of things, and we'll start there. We'll start with Hinsdale Central. That was the second meet that I was there, and the girls' race, I think the teams that I thought would get through got through. Hinsdale Central ran better, mainly because Katie McCabe was running for them. Was their number 2 runner, finished 5th overall. And I got kidded by Mark McCabe afterwards. He's like, yeah, you didn't rank us this week. Well, I couldn't because Katie hadn't run, so I had to use the performances that I had in front of me. Now Hinsdale Central moves up, and it makes that sectional at Waubonsie Valley even tougher. You have 5 of the top 6 teams in the state right now. It may change a little bit. I'm going to do sectional rankings this week, so I know where I'm going. But 5 of the top 6 teams in that region, in that sectional from the two regionals at Hinsdale Central and Lyons Township. The boys race, there were 8 good teams. All 8 teams should have qualified if it was mapped out. The opinions are my own and not necessarily those of Runner's Space, Athletic.net, DyeStat.com. Okay. So I'm gonna halt myself from saying what I was gonna say. 8 teams qualifying, running for 6 spots. West Aurora didn't have their best race of the year. They were ranked 21st. They had a great race in their conference meet, Southwest Prairie, and they didn't make it out. They missed by 4 points. And Batavia misses by 5 points. And Batavia was ranked number 30. They had a good race at their conference meet. So what do you do about that? I don't know. I can't say. But if you were at the awards ceremony at Hinsdale Central, you know why. 2 coincidences. Hinsdale Central running their pack together, then moving up during the race. And coming in together with like an 18-second split on 4. They have a sophomore that's going to be pretty good. Was their 5th runner in that race. But Hinsdale Central won fairly easy over Naperville Central and Neuqua Valley. And then Bennett Academy finished 6th. Downers Grove South finished 4th, and I'm having a brain fart. I'm going to go through all of these. I'm like, brain fart. That's why I should have written notes. I'm too tired to write notes. So you had 6 great teams that are advancing out of Hinsdale Central, 2 great teams that their season is over. At Lyons Township, what a great boys race. Top 3 teams separated by 5 points. Yeah, 43, 48, 49 between Oak Park, Lyons Township, and Downers Grove North. All ran great races. On the girls' side, York went out, hit the pace hard. Bria Bennis won pretty easily, 17:41. Yeah, 17:41. Good time on that course. So York, 5 runners in the top 10. Lyons Township went out a little fast in that girls' race. They came back to the pack. Downers North ran a better race than they did last week, and they got 2nd. And Lyons Township 3rd. Oak Park ran better. They finished 4th. Glenbard West 5th. On the boys' side, it was those 3 teams in York with 100 points in 4th, and Glenbard West and Willowbrook qualified. So, yeah, with the coincidence with Hinsdale Central, look what Plainfield South did at Minooka. They're running basically against the same teams in their regional. You're adding in Moline and Rock Island and East Moline United. So they ran a 0-second split. Everybody came in at 15:37. Good for them. I have nothing against that. If you can win and just keep your pack together, do it. So Plainfield South, I mean, 15:37 on that course. That's a tempo run for them. And then Oliver Burns runs 14:51, 5 seconds off the time he ran last week to win, just ahead of Parker Nold of Oswego East. So the favorites made it out of there. What else? Prospect. Boy, so a coach asked me, what was Prospect doing? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not the coach. That's what I'm thinking. I haven't had a chance to reply. But they didn't run 4 of their top 7 runners. But they still won easily. So resting up for the next 3 weeks with sectionals are going to be, I don't know if they're going to be tough for them. State and then NXR. Then they can take a break and get ready for Oregon if they make the top 2, top 3. They should. They're that good. What else? So not much else really stands out. O'Fallon with the top three, ranked number 10 in the boys 3A. They look good in winning, and they're all underclassmen. Jeez, O'Fallon's going to be good this year. They're going to be great next year. I'm telling you. And I think that's about it there in that sectional. Nuka easily won the girls' title. They're split, and they were wide with their split. So Edwardsville's got a good team. You never know what Lincoln Way East is going to do. They won their regional. Then you have all these other teams, Yorkville and Oswego East ran well, and Oswego ran well. So that's something there. St. Charles East regional at Northwest Medicine cross-country course. It was warm in the afternoon. They ran that race at 1 and 2. That's a cross-country course that begs for shade, and when it gets warm, it's terrible. So didn't bother Grace Shager. 16:38, breaking the course record. She wins the race by 2 minutes over Nicole Poglish of Wheaton Warrenville South. Wheaton North, what's going on with them? What kind of vitamin? No, they ran a good race. 5 in the top 18, something like that, winning the girls' title ahead of St. Charles East and Wheaton Warrenville South girls team. Second so-so race in a row for them. They need to step it up a little bit if they want to make it to Peoria. So that 32-41 Huntley over Rockton Hononegah. Huntley 3 in the first 5. That's what they need to do to make it out of that sectional. Maine South won easily at Jones. No surprise there. They haven't had their number one runner, a Curry, for the last 4 weeks. Her brother Luca hasn't run for the last 3 weeks now. So I don't know what's going on. There's other siblings on the team that have been racing, so hopefully those guys are okay. So that's on the girls' side. Boys' side, Wheaton Warrenville South 30-39 over Wheaton North. DeKalb, they still don't have their number 3 runner, Angel Fernandez. They still went 1-2 with Westport and Jacob Barraza, but that's not going to get DeKalb needs a healthy Fernandez to get into state for back-to-back years. So I don't know if he's going to be running on Saturday, but if you put him in there, he'll be up there. That moves DeKalb up considerably. They finished 4th in that regional at McChesney Park, Harlem. Keep an eye on Rockford Guilford. They finished 4 points behind Huntley. They're 63-68, so 5 points. Both teams have good first 3 runners, Huntley and Guilford, but their 4th and 5th runners are far back, so I don't know how that hurts them. I haven't even looked at how sectionals will pair up with things like that. So if their 4th and 5th runners move up a little bit, maybe those 2 teams make them. At Jones Prep, I know Sam Berlinghoff for Jones Prep. I don't know if he didn't run, if he's sick, but they only ran 6 runners in that race and they finished 5th. But Maine South won easily without their top runner. We already mentioned him. And then Lane Tech 2nd, and then Whitney Young and 3rd. And Jones was 5th. I'm missing a team, but oh well. So interesting to see what happens there. It's wide open on the boys' side. There are a number of good teams that are coming out of St. Charles East. So, and then Huntley and Rockford Guilford are wild cards, and then you have Lane Tech and Maine South. Maine South will be the favorite in that sectional. We already mentioned Waubonsee Valley Sectional. Have to add in there on the boys' side Sandberg. Sandberg ran a good race. Nice split between 3 and 5. Their first two runners, Anderson and Giblin, came in together at 14:56 at Midlothian Meadows. So Sandberg is a team to watch in that for a top 7 spot next week in that meet. Did we get everybody? Nutria looked good in winning their regional on the boys' side. On the girls' side, gosh. On the girls' side, the girls segue to this. On the girls' sectional at Bussey Woods next Saturday, good race between Anna Harden, Brooke Johnston, and Scout Storms. 3 of the top runners in the state, they're all in that race. So if you're near Bussey Woods at around 10 o'clock on Saturday morning, get over there. Get there early for parking. Otherwise, you're going to be parking 5 miles away. Tromping through woods to get to the course. We mentioned Prospect. Prospect to be the favorite in there. Like I said, they didn't run 4 runners in there. Let's go to 2A. There were 2 sectionals, regional races on the girls' side that were great. Yeah. All right, it's summertime. 2 points again in the Lakes Regional between Grace Lake Central winning by 2 over Lakes Community. Last week they were even through 4 runners. This week Grace Lake Central had a 2-point edge. Is it going to be that close? Come on, you got to make it 1 point this week. But I'm telling you, what a great meet. What a great meet there. And then the other regional, you had 6 seeded ranked teams at Taylorville. And Rochester hasn't run at Detweiler this year. They will in a few weeks. They looked real good and winning only by 6 points over Chatham Glenwood, and Normal University was third with 68 points. So only 8 points separated the first 3 teams. It's so hard to predict 2A girls right now because there are about 8 teams that are so close together. I mean, you have Rochester, you had Washington, who didn't run a few runners in the race, but they still won. Dunlap held out a few runners at Peoria Notre Dame and finished 5th. But they qualified. That's all that matters. Advance, survive and advance. So Dunlap will be up in the hunt at Metamora next week. And then I think you have those 6 teams at Taylorville. Then Waterloo, maybe. Waterloo looked really good for in the first 8 and winning their regional at Highland. So you have we mentioned Rochester, we mentioned U-High, we mentioned Chatham Glenwood. Normal West is running good. Mount Zion needs a good race. And on the boys' side, down south, Marion, 14:35 for Dylan Nally. I can't wait to see what he does at Chatham Glenwood. Then I can't wait to see him running an obnoxiously fast time at Detweiler in a couple of weeks. Is that going to be fun or what? I mean, all 6 races are going to be great, but then you have Tatum David who ran 17:17, won by 2 minutes in her regional. Then you have Tatum David running against a great field in the girls' 2A race. Then you have Nally going after it in 2A boys. Then you have York Prospect in 3A girls. And then you have the boys' race with Plainfield South and Hinsdale Central. And anybody's race in the individual race. So the last 4 races, all 6 races are fantastic. On the girls' side in 1A right now, Molly Farrell of Marshall make sure you know her name, because she could win this as a freshman. There's so many good runners out there, but Farrell is just kicking butt right now, winning individual races, and Marshall is number 7 in the state right now, so who knows what they'll do. So who else? The sectional at Kayland, you have 10 ranked teams in there, and 3 good teams are not going to make it out. And that's too bad, again. 7 teams that have qualified, that are ranked in the Deerfield sectional. So, and that's both on the girls, and the girls race at Kayland is a little more manageable. It's going to be a tough race between all those teams, with Lakes and Grays Lake Central going at it again, and Vernon Hills ran well. Mather and Mather in the girls race. Where's that Peyton Prep? I don't know. And then Lanton School. Let's keep an eye on this race. Let's keep an eye on them. They finished, Mike with the hiccups here. They finished 3rd at Mather. And Mia Kotler ran her first race of the year and ran 17:29, winning by 4 seconds over Lucia Tomdat of Northside. So Northside won by 1 point over Peyton, and then Lanton finishes 3rd. Now the question is, can they make it to state with just Kotler in there, or do they need Ellen Anderson, the sophomore, who hasn't raced since the beginning of the season? Is she ready to come back? We'll find that out on Saturday morning. Boys side, Grays Lake Central, the favorite in the boys 2A, excuse me. And then in that sectional at Kayland, there's just so many good teams. RB looked good. I saw them run 7 in the first 10 or something ridiculous like that. Fenwick didn't run McKillop in the race at Hinsdale South, but they finished 2nd. Hard. I mean, the sectional at Kayland is so tough. The defending 2A state champions may not make it out. So we'll just have to wait and see. Anything can happen in that meet. What else? In 1A, there was one controversy, and at Petersburg Porta, where 2 runners made the wrong turn in the final 150 meters of the race and were disqualified. One of the teams only had 5 runners in the race. They lost their 1 runner, their top runner, to disqualifications, and 6 teams qualified out of that regional, and 7 could go. So that hurts. That hurt their team, and it's not the IHSA's fault. Meet directors should have had somebody on that corner pointing them in the right direction. The rope fell down, and they scurried to get everybody there. But 1, make sure you have marshals at every critical point in a race. 2, kids, instead of walking around the course before it started the race with a boombox going, or with your earbuds on, pay attention to which way you're running on the course, or learn the map. And it happened to me one time where I didn't know where I was going, yet there were marshals to guide me, and I won the race. But it was kind of embarrassing. I'm like, oh shoot, which way do I go? So that's important. It's a lesson learned there in that regional. Don't blame the IHSA on this, where something needs to be done immediately. Yeah, kids need to know how to run the course. 1, 2, there needs to be better marshaling in that meet. So nothing you can do about it now. They weren't mistakes made on purpose. They were accidental mistakes. But if you run the wrong way on a course, you're going to get disqualified. And especially if it's 150 meters from the finish. A lot of people in the stands on that track there. So no surprises. I think the sectional race at Benton is going to be a good one between Teal and Geneseo, and gosh, and Ethan Hogan of Columbia. Keep an eye on him. He ran 14:58 to win his regional last week. He's been sneaking up on people. He's running good. So with him in there, I would keep an eye on that. Girls race, Ari Comer. She's the favorite. And then you have the two McGivney runners. You have Elena Ryback and Caitlin Hatley won the regional at Trenton Wesleyan. So I would keep an eye on some of those runners in the race. And Anna Jonesboro looks to be the team to beat in that meet. At St. Joseph Ogden, hey, I mentioned them in the preview, but keep an eye. Oh, wow. Georgetown's De La Salle La Salette. I had them ranked at the beginning of the year in the top 29, and maybe I should have kept them out of there because they didn't run any big races. They ran well at St. Joseph Ogden. They ran well last week at Patriot. No, not at Patriot. Bulldog Invitational in Effingham St. Anthony. And then they won the St. Joseph Ogden Regional. So I'd keep an eye on them. The Shelbyville sectional was tough. Decatur, St. Teresa looks great right now. Tuscola has 3 runners up front. They need to move their 4th and 5th runners up a little bit. But that sectional is going to be good. Tolono Unity on the girls' side. What can I say? They're undefeated this year. They won easily in the regional. And they're going to be the big favorites in the sectional. And they're going to be the big favorites in the state. Rosary won easily at Harvest Christian Academy. Harvest Christian Academy looked good in the boys' race, winning. And nice battle between Winkleman coming up. Winkleman will be the favorite in that race. And Rosary will be challenged by a number of teams. Chicago Christian is running well right now. Keep an eye on them. Out west, out in the great western part of the state at Oregon, at Park West, Riverdale looks real good. They're the favorites there. Tommy Murray will be one of the individual favorites with Western forward, and Aiden Sosnowski of Rockford Christian. Rockford Christian dropped a little bit in the rankings, and they looked okay, easily winning at Winnebago. Let's see what happens. So we have Rosary, we have Winnebago on the girls' side. 3 runners up there. They have a 5th runner. I can't remember her name. I should have written it down. That ran well. And closes that gap a little bit for the Indians. So I keep an eye on Bago. Let's see what they do this week. Going back to Harvest Christian Academy, the regional at Latin School at Lincoln Park. DePaul looks real good. They'll challenge Normal University, who just keeps running filthy bad filthy bad in a good way. Top 4 splits, and then there's a little bit of a gap of the 5th runner. But Normal University, a little bit of the favorite, winning, will be the favorite at Elmwood. And DePaul winning by 9 points, I want to say, over Latin School. Kelly Perek will be challenging Winkleman in that race. Should be a good race. I think I missed Elmwood. I think we mentioned everybody that I wanted to mention. So next week I'll have notes, and we can go into detail a little bit more about what's going to happen at the state. So we have a state meet preview for Wabat. My thoughts are my own and are not represent the opinions of Athletic.net, Runnerspace, and DyeStat.com. Be writing a sectional preview for each of the 4 sectionals in 3A, 2A, and the 5 sectionals in 1A. Those will be out on Friday. Already started on those. And then let's have fun this weekend. We're We're going to see a lot of heartbreak. We're going to see a lot of happiness. And if you run your best and you realize your dreams, hey, that's all that matters. So have fun. Go out, run some PRs. Let's see what happens. So, any case, that's it for this week. Go Bears tomorrow. I'm a Chicago fan, so go Bears. Go Blackhawks. Go Bulls. Go White Sox. Go Cubs. Go Chicago Fire. That's right. And go Red Stars. And there's more teams. Oh, go Wolves. So, it's going to be beautiful this week. I think we're going to have one day on Tuesday of some heavy rain. Well, let's get that out of the way right now, and then let's just go to a clean weekend. We've been lucky. We've been lucky with this weather, so let's just keep that luck going, everybody. Knock on wood, and we'll take it from there. So we'll talk again. I'll see you somewhere this weekend. Don't know where yet, but you have a good idea where I'll be. So the next time that we talk, this is Mike Newman with Sunday Night with ILXCTF.com. Have a great week. We will talk to you soon. Bye.